And today I wanted to talk about the ultimate success formula, how to achieve anything you want fast. You see, when I started, I didn't really know how to succeed or what it is you should do, let alone even think that there might be a process or a system. I just kind of thought, well, I guess some people just got lucky or were in the right environment or born around the right people or they were a genius of some sort. I didn't realize there was some sort of system. And it doesn't matter whether you're trying to achieve in sports, business, the arts and parenting and finances. The system that I'll share with you today is going to outline this faster than anything, because the truth is most of us don't know. Most of us don't know the way that we should be operating to ensure that we're successful every single time. So I'm going to move fast and I'm going to go deep. Good to see so many of you on. Hey, Rahi. Hey, Tanya. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Anne. Hey, Giselle. Say hello if you're joining and watching this live, or if you're watching on a replay, let me know as well. It's a big deal. When I sat down with billionaires and they told me, Chris, there's a specific process for creation and a specific way to achieve anything you want. The first thing we must understand is there's a problem. And that problem is that we don't know how to create what we want fast. And then there's a real simple solution, and that it uses universal law and that we understand some things. So before I get into the system, let me just share that there is two sides to creating anything. First, there's the internal side, there's the invisible side, and then there's the visible side. And what I mean by that is, let's think about a seed that's going to grow into, let's say, a pine tree. If you were to grab that little seed and you were to break it open, put it under a microscope, guess what? You actually wouldn't find anything there that would let you know that it knew what to do to grow into a tree. It would be invisible. And it's really interesting, but all the instructions would be there. What nutrients to get from the ground, how to take water from the ground, turn it to sap and send it up to the trees, how to bend towards where the light is. All sorts of things would be there, all in these invisible instructions. However, that's just one part of it. There's the other part of it. Out of all the seeds that have those invisible instructions, only some turn into the trees that you see. And that's because there is an action that's required as well. It has to be planted in the right place with the right amount of sun, the right amount of air, all these things have to be there. And that's what's interesting. And I want you to get that there's two sides to creating anything. First, it happens in the invisible, then it happens in the visible. And it's the same for your life. First, you have to create it in your invisible, in your unconscious, in this place that only you know what's going on. And then you must take actions in alignment with that vision to make it happen. So let's go through understanding that, of how to take what it is that we want and turn it into reality. The first thing is you must create the invisible vision. Step number one is you must create the vision, and it must be clear. I always tell people you must create a positive vision. So many people try to create visions that seem positive, but they actually have a away from or secondary nature about them. I'll give you an example. A lot of people say to me, Chris, I want to have a great business, or I want to start a lifestyle business. And I say, oh, why is that? And they always say, well, because I want to have freedom. And I say, freedom from what? And they say, well, freedom from this sucky job and not having enough money. And then I go, there you go. You've just confirmed that your vision isn't actually a vision. It's to get away from this not exciting life that you've got. The problem with making sure you have the right vision is that most people don't talk about it enough. Is you must have a vision just because that's the vision that you want. Just like when an artist paints or a songwriter produces, they just say, this is what I'm going to create, for no reason. We, in a lot of the personal development world, we have to have some sort of fucking reason. Like we have to go, I'm going to go create this business because it's a good thing. The world doesn't care whether it's a good thing or not. I'm going to create this because I want this, because of this. Why not just create a vision because it's something that you desire to manifest? That's a true vision, and that's step one. Step one is to create, and someone type these in for me, by the way. Step one is, and if you're enjoying it, give me some hearts or some loves or whatever those buttony things are there, is the first step is to create that true vision. And that's step number one. The second thing that you've really got to get, and it's super, super important, is that you must develop unshakable belief that this is going to happen. Unshakable belief that this is going to happen. That's step two. And this is where a lot of people get let down. Is, yeah, sure, they can get a vision. And most people don't get a great vision, but maybe they can push themselves to get something that kind of half resembles a positive vision. And so then they go to step two. They don't believe it's possible. They don't have unshakable belief, or it's shaky, like they believe on a Monday, but by a Tuesday they don't believe. Step two to create anything you want is you must have unshakable and undeniable belief that it's going to happen. Just imagine the universe is trying to create you something. You're trying to do something, but you only believe it's going to happen part-time. See, we come from such a limited backstory, and a limited backstory comes from everywhere. And that's because most of the things that we see are created with time. And we all know that time is limited. And so we just come from such limitation where the only things we know how to create or do or have is down to time. So we think something's so limited, we don't understand the exponential possibilities if we can find a way to scale and to really create. And so step two is important. Unshakable belief that it's happening, no matter what, that it's going to happen. And that's the second step. The third step is the emotion of the end result. You must be able to get into the emotion of it already being done. This is the truth. If you want to manifest and create more money, and more money equals freedom and abundance and joy, yet you spend your days, your life living in scarcity and doubt and lack and anxiety, this person doesn't equal this person. So you're basically setting up a situation where the thing you want to create, if it was to come true, your old identity had to die. If it was to come true, you'd actually have to be different. And let me ask you, what is the likelihood of your ego, your identity wanting to die? It's not very likely, is it? And this becomes the big problem, is that we set up this structure, we can't ever move forward. So you must live the end result of what it is that you want. If you want to become a famous basketball player, you must live as though that's already done. If you want to be a millionaire, you must live and feel as though it's already done before it shows up. And this is so important to understand. I first heard this with a big rugby star that I followed, and he was 17 years old, and he walked into the New Zealand top team, the All Blacks, and everyone else was gushing and oohing and ahhing about this amazing big team, and he just stood there going, I'm going to be on that team, and I'm good enough to be there now. And then he became one of the, and I remember it so clearly. It was on my first sort of, openings or understandings that you can actually believe in something before it happens. And he had the emotion of the end result. He fully believed it, unshakable belief, but then also lived the emotion of the end result, which is totally crucial. So I've covered for the first three. There's a couple more steps that you must understand, but let me ask you, guys enjoying this already? Who's going to be tuning in to more of these live streams? Because I know most of you will watch these on the replays, but I would love, in fact, I would adore to be able to see more of you jumping on live Tuesday, Thursday, this exact same time. So let me know if you're gonna, because I think it's gonna be very exciting. The next step is you must understand how to take the correct actions. And most people do not understand how to find and dissect the correct actions. There's a truth. And the truth is that the fastest way to do what it is that you want to do is to find somebody who's already done that and to have them help you. Now, let me give you an example. If you wanted to climb Mount Everest, you could just decide, hey, I'm going to go and try to climb it myself and I'll figure out the way up, right? You could give that a go. But a smarter option would say, well, who's already climbed it? Who's already been to the top? And then how can they help me get up there, right? And so that's a situation where a lot of people miss is you must do the mind work. You must get yourself in the emotion of the end result. You must have unshakable belief. You must have a positive forward-facing vision. But then you must get a strategy. You must have a strategy that is aligned with getting there, that's proven, a proven strategy. And so, you'll see this is half of my bookshelves, the other one's in the other room. There are so many ways to get strategies from people through books, through mentorship, through coaching programs, through education. And I've got to ask you, if you're not supported by the person who's living and breathing where it is you want to get to, you're really going to find it difficult, because you have to go through all the mistakes that they did. Mentorship and coaching and having someone you talk to once a week or twice a month, crucial, absolutely crucial. And so here's what I love is you get the strategy, because that is the fourth step, creating the correct strategy and taking the right action. The fifth is action and review. Action and review. And this is the last step, is you must take action towards what you want. You've decided what you're manifesting with a forward-facing positive vision. You've got a mindset that's unshakable. You're living the emotion of the end result. You have a strategy that's been pulled down from a master, someone who's living what it is that you desire. And then lastly, you must be taking daily action and reviewing your progress. I love to set a 1-year goal, a 90-day goal, a 30-day goal, a 1-week goal, and a daily goal. And here's why. Every day I take specific actions. Those specific actions each day get recorded and they get reviewed. And by the way, type in a yes if you'd love me to send you across one of my daily and weekly and monthly planning systems, because it's really important that you plan your day right so you hit that, which then fits into hitting your week goals. Then your month goals follow through. Now, here's what I love. I am never, ever, ever missing what I want to hit, because every day is a calculated action that leads to my week, which is a calculated action that leads to my month, calculated action that leads to my quarter, to my year, to my life. And I love this. These are the 5 steps. And I see it time and time and time again, from sports stars to musicians to business leaders. Step number 1 is they understand and get a positive vision. A vision that is not trying to get away from anything, not because of something else, just because they want it. Number 2, they create and cultivate unshakable belief in themselves. Step number 3, they understand how to align themselves with the emotion of the end result. Number 4, they understand how to pull out and create the right actions, the perfect action plan, by using mentoring, by finding people who've already been there. And the last step, which is the most important, is they know how to break down their big thing into small action items so they can smash it.